Good morning and welcome back to the channel. I'm a little late on starting this like I normally am because I am terrible at this whole video thing, but we're putting a motor in this. So we've got that motor there that I prepped yesterday. That has a new oil pump, water pump, and timing belt. Everything's on time, so that's good to go. We did that yesterday. We had a couple little mishaps. I didn't record any of that, but it's there. I think I have my little stand in my truck, so I might set that up so you guys can watch me finish. So far, air box is off. Some of the electrical connectors are off. I'm starting to get all the electricals detached. I want to get everything that's attached to the block separated before. Oh, excuse me. Oh goodness, that was gross. I'm sorry. Before I drain the fluids out, just make my life a little easier, get everything out of the way. Because then it literally will be pull the axles out, motor mounts. This motor will come out. We'll separate it on the ground. It'll be a little bit easier that way if I can lean it and pull it out and then separate the tranny with the converter and everything on the ground or up in the air or just anywhere other than in the engine bay. And then we'll swap everything that we need from that motor over to this motor. Whoop, that one there. And then we'll put it all back together, and I'm probably not gonna get it done today. I assume that I will have interruptions and whatnot. Plus, I'm not trying to break anything, so I'm taking my time. Could I do it in a day? Yes. Am I in that much of a rush? No, I just need it done sooner than later. We have a 90-day warranty on that motor, as long as I didn't take the head off, which I did not. We waited to do head gasket, because if I separate the head from the block, it voids the warranty. Everything else I did is fine, but separating the block from the head is where their warranty is drawn. So we're waiting on that. But everything else is there. You can kind of see the shiny new oil pump right there. So we should be good. Get that in. We have 2 weeks until we go up north for Christmas. And that's a 2-week excursion. So there's 2 weeks where I'm not going to be available, which means I'm cutting my 90 days into like 70-ish realistically. So I just want to make sure this gets done, get it turned on, get it good, and then we'll have 90 days to break it in and do all that stuff. And then after the 90 days, we're going to do a head gasket in the car just to be safe. That's supposedly a low miles motor. The oil wasn't the prettiest stuff in the world, but it also wasn't terrible. It was typical, like probably 3,500, 4,000 mile oil. You know what I mean? Like a little over what it should have been. You could still see through it, but it's very dark. So there's no metal shavings. I took the pan off, obviously, to do the oil pump. And all that stuff looked good. So now we know we've got a bunch of new parts in there. The rotating assembly looked beautiful. There's no discoloration. There's no super dark spots on any of the metal or anything like that. None of the rod bearings or main bearing areas look darkened. So I'm super confident in this motor. And worst case is if it's not super awesome like I think it is, then we just bring it back and they give us a different one. I'll pull all the new parts off of it, clean them out, and then they'll go on the next one. So we're not rebuying parts. Not that it's super expensive. D17s are super, super cheap to buy parts for. I want to say everything, oil pump, water pump, timing belts, head gasket, head bolts from Rock Auto was like $100 for everything. So, and where this is just a commuter car, those parts are perfectly acceptable. I have no issues with them. We use Rock Auto all the time. There's a bunch of Rock Auto parts on the T-Bird, which is over there. Red is hiding under a cover. And then obviously you saw Granny hanging over there. All of these vehicles have Rock Auto parts on them, no problems. So.
All right, so quick update. I jumped on live for a little while, but motor's pretty close to being ready to come out. I drained the antifreeze out. I got a few more fittings and stuff to take off, and then we gotta drain the oil. And then it's axles and motor mounts. God, I am a mess. All right, there's a hole, big old hole. Old motor's over there. Tranny's still attached. We gotta put the new motor on. I just ran out of time today. I had a massive headache earlier, so I took some time off. And then I was just being super careful so we didn't break anything, which I think we've successfully not done. We did find that a couple of the motor mounts were no good. I'm gonna inspect the rest of them now that there's a hole there. I'll take care of that tomorrow. But we do know at a minimum the transmission mount and the front, the front torque mount. They call it like a transmission mount or some shit, but I reference it as a torque mount from being in a B series. But the torque mount was destroyed. The tranny mount was definitely cracked. I'll check out the motor mount, which looks a little crusty, and I'll check out the T-bracket mount to see how that is, to see if we have to replace all of them eventually, or if we just can get away with a couple of them for now. But that's where we're at. The tranny made no mess. You can see how nice and dry it is, literally until I got it up over the corner of the car, and then it puked all over the headlight and down the front of the car and whatnot, because that's just my life. That's how my luck goes.
Literally, the moment we took that transmission out, like
as soon as it cleared the car,
right as it hit the front bumper, it just...
As soon as it cleared the engine bay, it puked. So, is what it is, but we're almost there. We'll be able to get a motor back in it by the end of the week. Again, I have Christmas vacation coming up, so I want to make sure this is done and running before I leave, because I don't want to lose that additional time for the warranty while I'm gone. So I'm going to make sure it's good to go before I leave, and then we'll be all set to test drive it and do all that fun stuff. So that's going to do it for today. As always, comment, like, share, subscribe. Get up and down.